There
Yep.
she is.
Okay, Jerry, thank you.
Danielle, you want to start the meeting?
Yeah.
Sure. All right, so this meeting tonight is for, we have everybody?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
except Ed. Where's Ed?
Where's Ed?
Texted.
He's trying to get in. I'm sending him a text right now.
Ed needs the meeting number and password. He deleted the email.
Tell him to go to trash and open the.
Okay, does,
Stop
I
that
can,
recording.
I just
I'll work-
texted.
I'll
I just
work on
I cut
getting
and
in
paste and
the-
texted him.
did anybody send him that information?
I
Alan
did
it.
just now.
Okay, thank you, Alan. Sorry about this, guys.
It's all right.
Happens.
Just don't get paid next week.
We're not YouTubing either, Howard.
I know. I'm gonna work on that once we get off through this, okay, and then on YouTube.
You dealing with
Not
Ed,
easy.
Alan?
Eddie has the information, Alan?
I texted him and I emailed him, so hopefully he'll be able to hop on.
Okay.
How did he delete the email? He just got in. It's just like,
Said he deleted it though.
go to
We
trash.
have our presenters back also.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Oh, hi there. Okay. And Tommy, we have everybody else?
Tommy's on mute, that's all.
We have everybody except Ed, Danielle.
Okay. All right.
So
So
why don't we just start the meeting
Sure.
and do the
get
pledge
them in
and
there.
get into it, okay?
Okay. Yep.
Please.
The meeting tonight is for town business by the town board. It is a Zoom meeting due to the coronavirus pandemic. And Supervisor Lanzetta, you can call the meeting to order and begin the meeting.
Thank you, Danielle.
You're welcome. And I just asked a
I'd like to
question.
call it to
This-
order to
right way?
everybody do the pledge of allegiance, please.
Is this the right
Pledge
way?
of allegiance to the flag
of the United States of
of America,
America and to the republic for which it stands,
Stand.
one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much.
Howard, Eddie said he's waiting for you to let him in.
Okay, gotcha.
So a minute of silence, you could sit. First of all, for our brave men and women fighting all over the world for democracy and freedom, especially our first responders, especially all the people on the front lines with COVID-19. We lift them up. They're our heroes. We think about them every day on the front line protecting us. And that's why we should protect them by wearing a mask and doing the social distancing. Seems to be working. So I need a motion to approve the agenda.
A motion.
I
Need a
second it.
A second, all in favor,
Okay.
opposed, I had,
Eddie, you there?
It's nice to get me back after Howard threw me
Yeah.
out.
All right.
okay. So the motion to approve the agenda is approved. Item 4 is motion to approve minutes from the May 11, 2020 Town Board meeting.
I make that
Motion.
motion.
I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Motion to approve minutes from both the April 23rd, 2020 and May 11, 2020 public hearing, chapter 98.
I make a
A
motion.
motion. Second.
Need a second?
Second.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Motion to approve minutes from both the April 23rd, 2020 and May 11, 2020 public hearing on chapter 99. Need a
All right,
motion?
Alan.
I'll motion.
I'll
Second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None said, motion carried. authorize to pay the bills in the amount of $400,460.88. A lot of that was due to the Phase 2 9W sewer, which is completed up to Porco's right now.
Right.
Al, the 200 and, what was it, 226,000, we got the money back for that already? That we're
We got-
paying?
No, I just signed a check today for Phase 2.
Okay.
So when I get the check back in cash, then I go and fill out the grant and request for a payment.
So the money that we,
Phase 1 is all paid out. I think we were in the minus around 10, 13,000. Phase 2.
where is this money coming out of? That's what I'm
Coming
asking.
out to
That's all.
2 grants.
I know, but right now we're taking that out of fund balance to pay it until we get reimbursed? Is that
And
how?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Right now, yeah, the 225,000 that is allocated from the vouchers right now,
Right.
that comes out of our money, and then once I do the grant, then it comes back to us, the same as Phase 1.
All right.
I think
Yep.
all in all, if I'd be very happy if we did, I don't know how many feet of new sewer line if we are in the negative for 10 grand, I think we did great.
That's good. That's good.
So I just want to explain that 400,000, a lot of that was for insurance and for the Phase 2 and for also Mobile Life were a couple of the big ones. So that's why there was so much money. So I need a motion to pay the bills, gentlemen.
I made a motion to pay the bills.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Tonight we have a presentation from Michael from Nexamp. As you know, on the agenda is a lease agreement, a resolution for supervisors to sign into a lease agreement. There's a few ways that we could go on this thing once it happens. You know, we've been looking for this to put the solar on our landfill for like 4 or 5 years now. Nexamp has won the RFP, so we could go a lot of different ways. So, Michael, if you could explain the lease process or the amping, for the town to take advantage of that electricity to bring down our town hall and other places, that'd be great.
Sure. Thank you, Al, and thanks everyone tonight for having us here. I'm also joined by Dallas Manson, who was really instrumental in responding to this RFP and working with me, and you know, we'll work together on this project going forward. So yeah, we're really excited. We won the RFP back in late 2019. There are 2 components that are bringing revenue to the town. The first part is the lease revenue. So we agreed to a $3,500 per megawatt per year lease with a 1% escalator for the first 5 years, and then a CPI look back for those additional years going out. The lease has a 25-year initial term with 2 options that bring us out to 40 years should there be additional programs outside of the initial 25-year terms Central will give us. That equates to about $5,700 in lease revenue per year. Reason why it's a little bit lower is that the amount of space we currently have on landfill was limited. So the project is about 1.6 megawatts. We do anticipate potential for some upsizing on that. I know when we first submitted this, our panels were a much smaller wattage. We think we can get a little bit larger. And hopefully, as once we execute and get into the site control agreement, we'll start bringing on civil engineers, go out and survey the property and see if, you know, maybe we missed something from our satellite imagery, see if we can't make that a little bit bigger. But right now, we're confident in that rate. So over the lifetime, over 25 years, this would represent about $161,000 to the town just from the lease revenue. The other component of this is the town indicated its desire to be part of or to receive credits, monetary credits, to offset their utility bills at the town level. So town accounts, both demand metered and even residential metered accounts. And so we were provided with an initial list, and from that developed our proposal. If you don't mind, I might share quickly my screen so you could see a quick presentation, and this will show, I think, I can pause here for any questions on the lease or the site. But then I want to just go into how the crediting works. It's not your typical PPA. If you followed how solar was done in the past, it was this power purchase agreement where you agreed to a certain dollar per kilowatt hour. And this is a little different. This is based basically on credits that we produce and we get from our project, and then applied to your bill, and then you pay us at a discounted rate. But I'll be able to better show that through a presentation. But if anyone had any questions on the land portion of this or the lease, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Is that similar to net metering, Michael, or?
Yeah, so this is a version of net metering. In this case, what happens is Nexamp puts out energy onto the grid, and for every kilowatt hour of energy we put on, we get credits applied or given to Nexamp. But because Nexamp doesn't have electric meters in the utility zone, we can't use them. We can't just collect money. We only get credits. The way we make our money is by delivering those credits to you and factoring in a discount, that helps you save money and helps us get paid for those credits. So let me pull up my presentation real quick, and I'll just take you through here. I'll move through quickly and let me know if you have any questions. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, great. So I'll kind of jump in. I mean, I believe many of you are familiar with Nexamp. We're currently hopefully getting back to construction now. They should be back on site this week to begin our first project in the town of Marlborough up on Milton Turnpike. That's a 2.7 megawatt community solar project, and we've successfully permitted through the town planning board, negotiated a pilot agreement with both the school district, town, and county. So we know Marlborough, and we're excited to be back here working on a separate project. But Nexamp has been in business for 12 years now. We have our main investor and owner right now is Mitsubishi. So we have an arm of their, the Mitsubishi corporate is their power plant generating company, Diamond Generating Corporation. So we really have a strong balance sheet. We have the ability to operate during these tough times and continue pushing things along. And overall, what I think really sets us apart is that not only do we develop these projects, but we build, own, and maintain operations and maintenance over the long term. In addition to that, we also do the community solar and net metering credit sales of these. Therefore, we really own the whole life cycle, and dealing with us over time, it's going to be one point of contact, and that's Nexamp. Eventually, when this goes live, we will transfer over, your point of contact will be more of an asset manager that maintains these projects over time. But for now, and for as long as need be, I'll be involved, as well as Dallas. So as I was discussing before, this is a 1.6 megawatt project, or 1600 kW DC project. Produces about 2 million kilowatt hours a year. We anticipate being able to turn the system on, get to notice to proceed in our terminology in development. That means we're ready for construction, probably sometime in Q1 2021, assuming we can get approvals to enter into the lease and option tonight, or in the near future. We will hit the ground running with our civil engineering work and hopefully be able to bring forth a proposal for the planning board, I'd say by no later than September or October this year, and move through that process as per the solar zoning law.
Hey, Michael, I don't want to interrupt you. First, you have location Highland, New York. Is there any reason for that?
I think our designers put that on there maybe because they picked it up off of Google Earth.
Okay.
It should be town of Marlborough. I apologize. I think when you put that address, sometimes it comes up as Highland.
Right.
I didn't catch that.
Highway School District, that's what it probably is.
I believe that's the mailing address, if there
Yep.
was one.
Yeah, I think actually, was it the Bad Seed Cider up there? I actually think their mailing address is Highland, New York, too.
Okay.
Yep. I can adjust that out. No, we anticipate, no, this is with Town of Marlborough for sure.
Okay.
You can.
And I just want to let you know also that we're working with Jeff to not go through the planning board process, but like we've done with a couple of cell projects, we're going to go through the town will be lead agency and we'll do everything. And that's the way the Monroe doctrine or whatever it's called. Jeff is looking into that. If that's feasible, I think it might be. So
Okay.
it will be going through the town board and you won't have to be going through the planning board process.
Great. Well,
That's good.
any way to streamline this would be appreciated, and that sounds good. I'd also say, we've already, Al, we've had, I think you've already received permission for us to enter in an application to Central Hudson. So that project, we expect on June 12th to have a preliminary study back from the utility. And then after that June 12th report, likely we'll move to what's called a Caesar report. That gives us, that'll give us final costs and all the upgrades that are required to bring a project like this forth. And that would come 60 business days after June 12th. So I'd probably put us out, probably know by the end of August, early September, exactly what our interconnection is going to look like. That being said, if all that goes through, I think permitting and an interconnection, we should have that nice and wrapped up by the end of the year, early Q1 2021, and be able to move forward. What we were awarded as part of the RFP was not only the lease rate that was part of the award, or I should say, part of our proposal, but an 18% discount on the credits we supplied to the town. Right now, we are estimating that our project, for every kilowatt hour that is put out into the grid, we get about 9.3 cents per kilowatt hour. That becomes important because that helps us figure out how many dollars in credits each year this project will create. And then based on your accounts that you've shared with us so far, how many your accounts would require. And so what we do is sort of carve out a percentage of that project that goes to town accounts. Once we start moving a little bit further along, we'd want to do a little bit more detailed analysis of those bills to make sure we're capturing everything and supplying as many credits as possible to increase your savings. But at the time of the award, and really nothing has changed since, I'll come back to the site layout in a second. At the time of the award, we estimated that your project, I should say your town accounts could take approximately, or we could deliver approximately $52,717 of credits each year across your accounts. The purchase price of those credits would be $43,000 with a savings of just under $10,000, at $9,489. This 20-year savings, assuming a inflation in costs, would be about in electric costs from the utility, which is what we typically see, would be $203,000 of savings over 20 years. So basically, and this would require really no payment, no outlay of funds from the town at all, right? We are entering into this agreement. It's a net metering credit agreement. I've already supplied it to the town attorney for review. And basically what you agree to do is this. We're going to put those credits onto your accounts, $52,000. So imagine it's just one account. We would offset it, and you would see your total bill minus the $52,000. Let's say it takes it down to zero. You would pay Central Hudson nothing, and you would pay us the $43,000. And your savings, you would have used $52,000 worth of energy, but only paid $43,000 for that.
Michael, is that done per bill or is that done once a year?
No, so it's done monthly.
Monthly, okay.
Yep. So what we'll do is we'll look at all those bills. And so each bill, some bills may get $1,000 a month, some may get a few hundred. It's all going to be different. But
Right.
as a whole picture, that's what we estimated we could supply.
So
Okay.
Scott, what we did is, thanks to Chris Wilco, we broke everything down, with the Marlborough sewer plant,
Right.
Yeah, we broke each one down, and we get quite a bang out of that one, and then the school building also. So we broke it down into each individual bill,
Right.
and then that's what the credits are going to go to each one of those.
All right, yeah, sounds good. Michael, this is a question, this is in addition to the rental payment, right?
Correct.
And what percentage of your overall production is this, have you carved out for the town?
Yeah, good question. So I think I had it on, I'm trying to find the slide, but it's about 28% of the project.
Okay, and then so the rest of it goes to the community.
Mike, I think the project opportunity slide 5 shows, right? I think we're allocating 457
Yes, there you go.
kilowatts out of the 1.6.
Yep.
Okay.
Out of the 1.6 megawatts DC, your allocation is approximately that 457 kW. I think it's about 26%.
Okay.
And like I said, we could supply more likely if there were additional accounts or anything we maybe things have changed. So I think what we'd want to do is definitely put you in touch with our sort of net metering credit team, our energy sales team, to make sure we got everything correct and as updated as possible. So bottom line is we'd have room to add more credits.
Okay.
Your account would deem that necessary.
Thank you.
And then, does anyone else have any questions on the transaction, like the mechanics of that, or any kind of questions relating to the net metering credit agreement?
Yeah. No, it's pretty.
I think you made it pretty clear what happens.
And I guess then that the other 72% goes out to the community for discounts, right?
Yeah, so that, and I was going to get to that. So this is a community solar project. 40% of the total project can go to what we call our demand meters, which will be mostly your types of, town accounts. 60% go to residential meters. And so, yeah, I mean, I think one component that, in Dallas, I'm sure you spoke to this, Dallas, in the RFP, but we would love to work with the town and really make this a community project. So, work with the town maybe to do some type of outreach into the community where they participate and receive our, standard New York 10% discount for any resident in Marlborough. So this could get, hopefully this would be seen as from the town's point of view as, a real community solar project. The municipality is benefiting, but also residents can participate as well.
Howard, refresh my memory. We actually did. We spent a lot of time with Star Solar, one of those, to do. We have it in our code to do.
CCA. CCA, I think it's called.
You remember that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you guys.
So we actually have
Community choice.
Yeah, CCA, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's, I don't know if it's called CCA or CA,
something like that.
Or one of those.
CCA is the community choice aggregation.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, I mean, is that something we could look into, Michael, what we did as far as codifying that? Is that something separate or something that would benefit the whole process?
As far as outreach to the community?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we would be happy to do it. I think it both helps us and also the community. This would all
I was just relating it to the code that I have to look at the code. We did it about 3-4 years with Ron Blass and another company, and we spent a lot of time on it. It was a good code. So I don't know. It was to formalize, I guess, the community credit, whatever it was called. So
the CCA is something a little bit different, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, probably shooting myself in the foot, but I believe that's a separate program.
Okay. Right.
Then we would be doing it ourselves because it'd be through Nexamp. So we would
I'll just bring it up because I just remember we spend a lot of time on it, and it was.
No, it'll be a very similar process though of what you did, just getting the community involved, educating them, getting people to sign up online.
I think what it was, not to interrupt, I think what we did was it was a consortium on renewable energy. Our town would accept it and there would be credits given, but it was about 3-4 years ago. It was similar to any renewable energy would benefit, any renewable energy use
Yeah.
would benefit our town.
I remember it was sun. They were trying to get the door in the town, but anyhow.
So in
I
this
don't know
case,
if the heating exists anymore.
we're reserving some percentage for the town's use, and then the bulk of it goes out to the residents, and they can get a discount up to 10% on their electric bill. That's basically it in a nutshell, right?
Correct.
And is that the same offer that residents will be given under a private Nexamp installation like the one on Milton Turnpike? Is it all the same? We're not competing with one another.
No, we won't be competing with it. The way the economics work out, we will have to provide them with a lower, our standard discount of 10%. So we couldn't increase it to the 18 that the town's getting. That's in sort of compensation for the land and the
Right.
opportunity of the
So the
project.
town gets an 18% discount. The regular resident gets a 10% discount, whether they get it from our electrons or the ones on Milton Turnpike or wherever it's coming from, right? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool.
Do you have any more info that you'd like to share, Michael? Or
I think I kind of ran through the major points of the presentation. I just had some pretty pictures and things, but you all know what solar farms look like. No, I'd open it up to any questions, and I'd appreciate your consideration for the vote tonight. And both me and Dallas can answer any further questions.
Michael, since it's on a landfill, are there special solar panels? I mean, do they rotate? I mean, they're probably above ground. They have certain anchors, and I'm not familiar with that. Could you explain how it's different, maybe from the one that you're building on the Turnpike?
Sure. Yeah, I think the biggest difference, and Dallas can help me out here. Dallas is working on several landfill down in New Jersey. Has been kind of leading our efforts on landfills across the state. Dallas, jump in if I'll get this right, but if I miss anything, remember. So the big difference are the way we secure. The panels are the same. The footings, mountings do not go into the ground. So like on Milton Turnpike, those are screws getting drilled into the ground. These are going to be concrete pads, not permanent concrete pads. They're almost like I don't even.
Ballasted system.
A ballasted system, yeah. So it's basically a big concrete block that the posts go into, and that sits flush with the landfill itself. So that's one main difference. The other main difference is all of our electrical equipment doesn't get trenched underground; it stays above. Everything is about maintaining the integrity of the cap and the landfill itself. So really, sitting on top of the landfill without impacting underground. So those would be the major differences.
What's usually the size of a panel for that? I mean, what's the size of your transmission with all your power and stuff like that you need? Besides your panels, you have all your electrical going from AC to DC, and I mean DC to AC.
Like a blank one?
So what's the area approximately of a 1.6 megawatts?
So I believe, and let me just pull this up here.
It's on the site plan, Mike, but
Yep.
it's going to be a little bit. We're
About
going to take
9 acres.
Yeah.
So it's about 9 acres of fenced-in area, and then let me just show you let me just show you this real quick here. This is our development set, and this shows the layout here.
Of what?
Make it a little bit bigger, but you can see the panels are right on the cap here. There would be a road built upon the top of the cap, and then it would come off into that parking lot. This is showing a new road, but likely we would propose some type of I think that's concrete up there, not gravel, correct?
No idea. So
that's just gravel.
Yeah.
That's gravel.
You mean the driveway that's there now?
Yeah, just sort of, you see where it kind of loops around here as sort of a circle.
I believe that's all gravel.
Yeah, it's all gravel. Yeah. I think John just did a little work up there with paving.
Got it. So we would look there and perhaps, upgrade some of it to allow for the trucks that will need to bring in the equipment. But that would all be at our expense, and we'd work with the town board during permitting. And you can see here, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but basically the inverter and the transformer, all the line, there would be above ground lines leading to right at the edge here, where the inverter and transformer pad would go. And from that, then we would have poles going down to the street level where our interconnection would take place. So, the big equipment pad would be off of the landfill cap onto some land, not interfering with the transfer station, but off of the cap, and everything else would be a ballasted system on top of the landfill.
Great, thank you.
Just a quick question. How did we balance water management with the runoff of these panels?
Sure. That's a really good question. So we would look at, now Dallas, I think in this case, we likely don't need a SWIP on this one because we're not disturbing the underlying grass. But we will have to go through a permit process with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, so DEC. We'll have to do a post-closure permit.
Yeah.
And Dallas, maybe you could speak to that process a little bit more.
Yeah, and we just, the cool thing about panels is they have weep holes on the side of them. So the water doesn't just fall off one way, it basically falls off the side and down the front of the panels. So we would definitely have to update the stormwater management once our civils have done a survey, but we're gonna have to update the post-closure plan regardless, because we are, even though we're not disturbing the cap, we're not puncturing the cap, we're still changing the stormwater management. So once we do our survey, we'll be able to update our design, then also present to you guys what we think the best way forward for stormwater, either tying into what you currently have or widening what you have. Unfortunately, I'm not really aware what's there right now, but once we do that survey, it's pretty much, it's a lot easier to present to you guys how we would manage the stormwater.
Thank you. Board have any other questions? Thank you, Michael. We're very, very excited about this project. It's a long time coming. We've been trying to get people involved, but Nexamp came through and we appreciate it.
Thank you. We're looking forward to it as well.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks,
Yep,
Dallas.
thanks, guys. Michael and Dallas, thank you.
We'll be in
Sorry
touch.
about the
Jeff will
confusion.
be in touch, with the process going through the town board instead of the planning board. So,
Okay.
as you know, Jeff's been on this lease thing with your lawyers, going back and forth for the last couple of weeks, and finally got something that where it seems like we're all okay with. So I appreciate that.
Al, would you want to do the resolution now for them so they can see if
Sure,
we
we
pass
can
it
do
or
the
not?
resolution.
And thank you, Al, for all your work too.
Thank you, Ed. You're very kind. So I think that is resolution 63. Got it here, 62, 63. Now, Resolution 63 is to propose lease option agreement and ground lease for a solar photovoltaic system on the landfill site. Supervisor Lanzetta proposes the following. Whereas landlord owns real property located at 20 Bailey Gap Road, Marlborough, New York, containing approximately 82.33 acres. This is the property, and whereas the property is or was formerly operated as a solid waste management facility authorized by New York State Department of Environmental Conservation and other applicable government authority landfill. So that's the landfill. Whereas the town has negotiated a proposed lease option agreement and proposed ground lease with Nexamp Solar LLC for lease of portion of the property as shown on a map attached to the proposed ground lease to develop, construct, operate, and maintain a solar powered electric generation and energy storage facility and any uses necessary or ancillary there to the facility. And whereas the copies of the proposed lease option agreement and ground lease are on file with the town clerk. And whereas the execution of the proposed ground lease requires a public hearing, and whereas if the town is duly authorized to execute the lease option agreement and the ground lease of applicable permissive referendum requirement are satisfied, and further, if Nexam Solar LLC exercises option to proceed, Nexam Solar LLC will file with the town an application seeking town approval for the facility. And whereas they're pursuant of 6 NYCRR 617.5, the contemplated action is a type 2 action, and establishment of this facility and property owned by the town of Marlborough should be exempt from the town's local land use regulation under the standards set forth in the matter of the Monroe County, which is 1772 N.Y.2D 338 533 MY N.Y.S.2D 702 in sequent case law, and or whether the town board shall conduct a review of such application and issue any approvals deemed necessary. And then it just goes on. Now therefore be resolved as the following, which I just stated. I'm not going to read the whole thing. And there's a notice for a public hearing, and the public hearing is on the June 22nd, 2020, and moves for its adoption. Danielle?
Supervisor Lanzetta,
Yes?
Councilman Molinelli,
Yes.
Councilman Corcoran,
Yes.
Councilman Baker,
Yes.
Councilman Koenig.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So passed. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks,
We'll
Mike.
move forward now. So I'll let
Thank you.
Jeff know, and we'll keep on going.
All
Okay,
right.
and then I guess we'll be all set after June 22nd then?
Yep.
Yeah, we just have to check with that Monroe document and make sure we can do it. And it's a permissible referendum because the taxpayers own it. So
Yep.
we'll get all that settled with Jeff and move forward on that.
Terrific. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Michael.
Thank
you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Take care, Mike.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Dallas.
Okay, so thanks for going through that painful resolution with me. Actually, and Jeff did a great job with the lawyers from Nexam. Although I kind of bugged him every day, but anyhow, any comments on the agenda? Can we go full screen or?
Brian.
You can adjust your screen, Al, if you want to.
Yeah, you gotta drag it over, Al.
You can drag your screen over to the left.
Get this? No, I got you.
Oh, boy.
Now what did I do?
I'm gonna stop.
Oh, there we go.
We got bacon, yeah.
Let me try and
boy.
share it again.
You stop sharing?
Anyhow, new business, gentlemen. Workshop topics, the COVID-19. I guess today the region opened.
Yep.
What happened now?
Nothing?
Oh,
Nothing.
I just see you, Howard.
Well, that's all you need.
That's the only one you want to see. I don't know.
Okay. So COVID-19, as you know, the region opened today, I guess, Tom, for manufacturing and construction. I guess those people have to have something planned to open up, I guess, before they can open up. I don't know. What is opening up? Can you put a little light on that, Tom, at all?
Well, yeah, the construction end opens up, manufacturing. I think the plans are coming in the second stage. So it's construction, manufacturing, curbside pickup for retail, which, you know, I mean, we were doing curbside pickup for food. So the curbside retail just fit right in there anyway in phase one. And then agricultural, forestry, fishing, that was, people were doing it anyway, but I know, yeah, they were doing it anyway, but now it's officially okay that agricultural, forestry, and fishing are okay under phase one.
Right.
Why phase one took so long, I don't know, but it's there. So again, hopefully 2 weeks, that's when we get into retail, business, professional office gets to open up, administrative, real estate, that's in phase two. That's when that plan is supposedly be put in place. But from what I'm seeing, the plan doesn't really have to be submitted anywhere. I mean, as far as the state, there's a plan to be put in place, and I have a middle area for that. But yeah, so phase two is coming in 2 weeks, hopefully. Phase three becomes the restaurants, the hotels, and phase four is probably the most unclear of all of it because that's where the arts, entertainment, recreation, the schools, but that's going to be a tough one. So, that's basically a month away is what they're saying, that schools could open in a month. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's where they're planning it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're having graduation in New Jersey, so, things are moving along pretty good.
Okay. The main thing is to be safe.
Yeah, and then the churches went into a 5-phase, coming in too. I don't have them off the top of my head. I'll be posting those tomorrow. But the church has a 5-phase also they're going into it.
They're like 10. They're limited to 10 people.
First, it's like private and confessionals. It's phase one. It's just like a private individual going in for confessionals and things of that nature. Then it opens up to smaller amounts and then it gradually grows into it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, Tom, very much. Appreciate it.
Yep.
I know that myself, Councilman Baker and Councilman Corcoran had a discussion with the administration, the school administration on how to open up to the public. We're not ready yet. And once that happens, I think we'll have to come with a plan with them. So we're getting there, but we're not there yet. Would you agree, Howard and Scott?
Yep.
As far as the public
now.
is concerned?
Is the school, can I interject? Is the school thinking phase two with the opening of public and professional buildings with a plan, like somebody at the door doing temperature, sign in, masks mandatory?
Yeah,
we went through all those things. We went through all the different things that we would go through.
You're thinking phase two in 2 weeks, right? Or you haven't discussed the actual, because that's the phase.
Yeah, that would be what, if everything goes well, right, Tom?
Yeah.
1 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
See. I hope so.
We'll discuss that. Okay. Well, that's great. Thank you very much. We're moving forward. The numbers are going down. That's a good indication.
Yes, it definitely is. I think Ulster County's done a great job, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they have. Unfortunately, they were in a region that wasn't, had some problems.
You know what? You wouldn't want to open up with Orange County right next to us. They'd all come here.
Yeah.
And it's a good move by doing it by region. I agree with that.
Well, yeah, and that's why, I mean, the biggest is that restaurant, which is in phase three, because you open a restaurant,
right,
you're coming up. But phase one, again, phase one is beyond me. I mean, outdoor construction, to cease that, Orange County, Ulster County, that was.
It's not going to affect. It's not going to affect.
Yeah, there's a lot of things like, we're saying gradually open up. It's the people who are going to have to feel comfortable going back into that environment, and so that's going to take a while too.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that.
Right. The public's going to dictate who opens and who doesn't. I mean, it's pretty simple as that, right? I mean, you could open your doors if nobody walks in.
Yep. I mean, we've been able to sell cars at appointments, and they have to make appointments. The doors are locked. If you don't have an appointment, they can't come in.
Right.
I think in phase two, though, the doors will be open as far as the car dealership goes. And those
right. That's what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
But again, the public will basically decide whether they're going to come in or keep doing curbside with you.
Right.
Right.
And Danielle, can you get everybody on the screen again?
Let me.
Yep,
I'll stop sharing the
go.
agenda. Is that better?
Yeah, that's very good. Thank
Now,
you.
you can adjust that yourself, but that's for letting me.
Let's not move. We took a long time to get on here, so.
Again,
so, I'd like to talk about, I sent you a Christian Hill trail.
Yep.
So I'd like to talk a little bit about it. The whole thing is, as you know, Howard Baker and Matt Kirsten, Steve Osborne, myself, Tony Falco. We were ready to pull the trigger on a Greenway grant. I think we're asking for 70-some thousand dollars. We were talking with Steve Bianco. The day that we were going to pull the trigger because of the budget, the New York State budget, monies were pulled from new applicants for the Greenway. So we halted everything. We couldn't do anything else. So, but then, remarkably, Tony Falco, as Tony Falco does, he gets it done. So he went in there with a bunch of his sons, a couple of his sons, Matt Pidell, a couple of other people volunteered and did a pretty nice trail. Cleaned it up, got garbage and piled up. Councilman Baker asked John Lamella to drop a dumpster there. We talked to the highway department, John Alonji, superintendent. There was a couple of big stumps. Gary's going to go down there and spend a few minutes down there getting those stumps out, clearing it around, help get all that garbage into the dumpster, the roll-off. And I dealt with Tilcon. Tilcon gave us permission to get as much item 4 for the actual drive-in and parking area down there, which is all cleared now. So things moved pretty fast and really great. And I encourage you, if you have a chance to go down there, it's right to the south of St. Mary's parking lot. You'll see the entrance there. You'll see the road going down. And just follow the trail. It goes down to Jews Creek. It goes down, you see the Hudson River at some points. And it's a great trail. It's a nice trail. And it's dealing with Tilcon. They've been great neighbors. The only possible way we could have got a grant is to change the lease. And they did that. They changed it from a 10-year lease to a 25-year lease. And then talking to the people of Tilcon, and they said, well, whatever you need as far as item 4, I'll give you a job number and you just have the guys go there. I talked to John Alonji. John said, sure, he's going to send a couple of trucks this week. So there you have it. So we'll have a trail pretty soon, hopefully, maybe in about 2-3 weeks, maybe sooner.
By the way, Al, speaking of Matt Fidel, with what he's done, I've been working with him for 6 weeks or whatever. I think he deserves a Pride of Marlborough from us. I think he deserves it. The work he's done and all he's done for the town.
Yep.
I would like to suggest that. And that's just my opinion. But I've worked with him, and I think it's been great. And I think he deserves it. We got one more run on Thursday, and then we're done. He's done a great job.
Thank you, Ed, and the volunteers for just keeping that the second phase of Project Resilience going. So for everyone,
I think Matt deserves what he's done a lot. He really has.
I will. I'll do that. I'll do a Pride of Marlborough.
I hope everybody feels the same way. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I do. I agree.
Definitely. Yeah, we all do.
Yeah, absolutely, Ed.
And the Officer Fulton also put in a request for a Pride of Marlborough for a gentleman that organizes the birthday parties. And we just had one for my grandson, Elliot. It was just fantastic. You don't know what 8-year-olds, right? You don't know what they think, but he said to Grandpa, that was like the best birthday I ever had.
Right.
Okay. So anyhow, put a little smile on somebody's face during these times.
Yep.
I think that's a great thing, and I agree.
I'm gonna miss my ladies from Jenny's Garden. I mean,
You could always stop and see them there.
I will.
And talking with Scott and Katia, doing the Zumba outside, lift spirits up. They're doing the social distancing, and things seem to be going along there. People need some kind of outlet, so I agree with Councilman Corcoran on that point, and I hope everybody else does. So, saying that about the trail, we have a young gentleman, Elliot Cash, who is the son of the famous Sidney Cash, who's willing to build the kiosk. I told him to get me a price from Milton Hardware, and on the agenda, they came up with whole list of things that he needs, and the items are $289.86. I would propose that we budget $300 for the project, and I need a motion if everybody is in.
I'll make that motion, Al. It's well worth it.
So I need a second.
I'll second that motion, Al, but that only leaves them $11 if they forgot something. I mean, I don't want to see them
You
spend
wanna
any
make
more than the
$350?
$289. I appreciate the work that they're doing, but they may, you know what I mean? Things come up when you're building stuff. You know what I mean?
Give me a number, Alan.
Give them up to 350. Try to keep the 289
Okay.
only up to 350.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I'm good with
Sounds
that.
good. So we limit it up to 350. I have a motion from Alan. I need a
I'll
second.
I'll second
Ed,
it.
that second. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Moving right along. Anybody wish to, all right, before we get on that, we did the new business. I have no correspondence. Anybody have anybody call them up with any complaints or anything?
Just to throw this out there, I spoke with Vivian today. I don't know if everyone's noticed in Milton, the flowers are out.
I did. I
They
did.
did a great job. They were under budget for their budget, and all the planners, believe it or not, Jerry Murtaugh and Jimmy Affinito engineered up self-watering. So this is going to be the first year of it. And last year they did hanging baskets. I think they got 45 days without watering the hanging baskets.
Wow.
So everything, all the ground planners, everything is all self-watering this year.
Right.
And while you're on that, Alan, I definitely don't want to forget thanking John Alonji for that awesome parade.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with it. I mean, there was over 50 vehicles in that parade. It took 45 minutes. It was a lot of fun. I saw Howard out there in his car and a bunch of people. I think they really enjoyed it. That's another outlet that I want to thank John Alonji, and the chief says he had 0.2% of that, but I want to thank the chief also just for that 2%.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Thanks, Chief.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job on that.
Appreciate it, chief.
Yes.
And thank you, John. So moving along, any public comment? Did anybody get on? Okay. So resolution 61 is to accept highway item bid. So Supervisor Lanzetta proposes the following. Whereas a legal notice appeared in the official newspaper of the town of Marlborough requesting bids of material for the town of Marlborough Highway Department. And whereas May 11, 2020, all bids were open and read aloud, and whereas the superintendent of highway has recommended the following items. Item 1, material hauling is JKN Trucking. Glad to see they're all back on their feet post call. Item 2, asphalt and material hauling was JKN Trucking. There were no other bids. Item 3, wash stone and hauling. Item 4, at $20.50 ton material and delivery was E. Dietz and Son. JKN Trucking was 24.75. 3/4 stone at 25.75 ton material and delivery. JKN Trucking, E. Dietz and Son came in at $28. And I'd like to move for the adoption to give the award to those gentlemen.
Councilman Corcoran,
Yes.
Councilman Molinelli,
Yes.
Councilman Koenig,
Yes.
Councilman Baker,
Yes.
Supervisor Lanzetta.
Yes. Was I left off that?
Not on the one I fixed. It's all good now.
Okay, thank you. And resolution 62 to accept fuel items. Supervisor Lanzetta proposes the following. Whereas a legal notice appeared in the official newspaper for the town of Marlborough requesting bids for the town fuel needs. And whereas May 11, 2020, all bids were open and read aloud, and now therefore be resolved that the following bids are awarded. Morbido heating oil at 0.1850/gallon over Journal of Commerce Albany's reseller tank car, and there was no other bids received, and they said if they won the bid, which they did, that the propane will be donated to the town, and that's probably at the park with no other bids received.
Yep.
And moves for adoption.
Councilman Corcoran,
Yes.
Councilman Molinelli,
Yes.
Councilman Koenig,
Yes.
Councilman Baker,
Yes.
Supervisor Lanzetta.
Yes, thank you very much. And I think that's it, gentlemen.
Alan,
Yeah, if I could just bring this up. How about a motion for adjournment?
All right, well, before we do that, thank you, Howard. Don't feel, these things happen. I think you'll.
Yeah, no big deal.
all out.
no, Howard, no.
I think we need a vote of confidence for Howard. What do you think?
How's
No,
that?
I'm good. I think
Great job,
do.
Howard.
the issue was the double scheduling, so we're gonna have to work that out. And
I think your hair's growing too long. That's the problem.
what's that?
Your hair's growing too long.
I mean, look at this stuff here. It's
I don't know who has the longest. I think Al might have longer hair than you,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
on the back here.
I hope you took this off of record.
No,
No, we're still recording.
Okay. So I
I'm
might
gonna
have a
stop it
motion
right
to
now.
adjourn and